Welcome to my first episode of Talk Tea with Thea. I'm Thea D'Souza, your host, and this is my weekly show where I talk about all the things I found interesting that happened this week in entertainment, pop culture, television, film, on the internet, whatever I think. So I will talk here for a little bit and then I'll have a guest join me. This week, all I can say about this week in entertainment and television and film is thank you, Sal Saperstein. Thank you, Sal Saperstein. That's all I need to say. Thank you for this podcast. Thank you for the world. Thank you for the Golden Globe. Thank you for everything. And that is a callback to this week's brilliant episode of The Studio on Apple TV, wherein Matt, our studio head, wants to be thanked on the Golden Globe stage, and his vice president of his studio gets thanked and said Sal Saperstein by everybody on stage as a running joke of the evening. I thought it was hilarious and really spoke to the egos involved in people that make movies. Producers, everybody along the line wants to be known for that movie. We all want to be on that red carpet. We all want to be thanked on the stage. You want to be up on the stage. I love watching award shows because I always know somebody that's on stage or gets thanked because I worked in Hollywood as a development girl. And all of the people that I worked with who were up and coming are now running studios, making movies. There's really not an award show that goes by where I don't know a lot of people. And that's a fun game I like to play, is who am I going to know on this stage? Who's going to thank someone? So I love this week's episode of The Studio. And also we have a new pope, which is something everyone's talking about. I love the water cooler stuff. I am a born Catholic, raised Catholic, and an agnostic, so don't really follow the church, but I'm interested in the new pope. He's American, he's progressive, allegedly. So that's something that I find funny. I love the memes. I love everything on the internet about him, and I will be eating up all the pope stuff for a while to come now. I am from Chicago, so that's exciting for people in Chicago. Okay, guys, so what else should we talk about? We have a few things to cover. I'm a huge reality TV junkie, and my favorite network is Bravo. And let's talk about what's going on in Bravo. What's interesting about running a Bravo fan page is that you kind of hear a lot about what's happening behind the scenes of the show. So one of the shows, Summer House, there has been a glaring omission from the show this week, which is Imrul, who is a very interesting new character. A guy who was easy on the eyes, easy in the bedroom. I found him pretty fascinating. I want to know more about him, but he got erased from this week's Summer House episode, and allegedly they're going to make an announcement that he's not on the show anymore. I guess Andy Cohen took out the boys of Summer House to Corner Bistro, which was one of my favorite West Village haunts. I mean, the greasiest little hamburger on a paper plate is Andy Cohen's favorite restaurant. If I had this kind of money, I wouldn't eat there, but that's where he likes to go. He took the boys and Imrul wasn't with him. That was the first sign that something was amiss with Imrul. So that's interesting behind the scenes stuff that I'll be looking out for. Also, another show that aired on Bravo this week with a little bit of interesting backstory is Love Hotel. Luann Lesseps, the Countess, a housewife, is looking for love on the show with 3 other housewives. And Shannon Bador, who famously crashed her car into a building last year, got a DUI and has emerged unscathed. The host of that show, Joel, went on an Instagram Live after they were done filming and talked about what a nightmare Shannon Bador is, how she's not friendly to anyone and how she's a diva. He erased it or deleted it, didn't post it, and then retracted. But that kind of tea is going around right now. Like, what was he talking about? And is Shannon Bador a nightmare? Personally, I feel like it's possible. It's possible that that could be true. I don't think any of the women from that show stayed with those men. I mean, these are average Joes that are trying to date housewives. I don't see it working out for any of them. I'd be very shocked if any of them stay together. So my guess is this show is fun, it's silly, but nobody stays together. It's not a real dating show, which is fine. It's entertainment. There's a lot of other Bravo news going on. I guess they put Roni on pause, Real Housewives of New York, which was one of my favorite franchises and which just got a new cast and really, really tanked last season. Was not that interesting, although I loved the women on there, but the drama was not that interesting. And I think Bravo just decided we're just going to figure out what to do with this franchise. Maybe we'll keep people, maybe we'll recast the whole thing. They're not sure. And the same thing's going on with another one of my favorite franchises, Real Housewives of New Jersey. They're going to partially reboot. Who knows? It's on pause right now. There's no shooting schedule. Nobody has been given a contract for next season. There's a few ladies put on hold. So those two shows, I feel like we really will be waiting a long time to see either of those franchises again. But in the meantime, we have a new franchise coming, Rhode Island. I mean, the tiniest little state. Apparently, there's enough drama there. I have no idea if it's going to be good, but they go through a lot to get a show on the air. They're doing a pilot for a Chicago one right now, and what it takes to get it from pilot to green light is a lot. This has to be an amazing cast with great chemistry, great drama. So it remains to be seen if Chicago will ever make it. But we looks like we will be seeing Rhode Island. So hopefully I have a lot of high hopes because I really loved the reboot. I really loved the Salt Lake City when it was new, and now it's just one of the best franchises. So any new franchise I have hopes for. So we'll see what happens with that. And otherwise, on Bravo, not a lot's going on. We're going to have to see the Summer House reunion, see what the big announcement is. We've got Lindsay on there who had a baby, so we don't know if she's going to be bringing the baby a lot. I mean, I assume she's not leaving the show. A lot of people think she is, but she's not. She'll be on the show. And Paige, I believe, will still be on there. So I think they're going back to that house July 4th weekend. I think like Lindsay will be there limited time, maybe not every weekend. She'll have a nanny or she'll have the baby, who knows. So I think that it'll be interesting to see how she and Carl interact now that they've had a good year to think about things. They're still fighting online right now. Lindsay said something, then Carl said something back. So they're not getting along. So that could be interesting. Paige is single now. Is she going to date anyone? Is she dating someone? The rumor she is. Is she going to bring him on the show? So I'm still into Summer House. I'm still into all of that drama. I love that cast. I feel like reality TV is a good escape from life. And in keeping with that, I met a girl online. This is like 2 years ago. Dumois, really famous gossip site, had posted a link to a story about a girl who was an actress on a movie set and who dated an A-list actor. And the story was called The Movie Star and Me. And it was written by this lovely girl, Domenica Feroud. I read the story. Google it if you haven't read it. It's amazing. And I reached out to her. I never do that, right? I never reach out on Instagram. Hi, I'm just a fan. I love your writing. And she was so sweet back. No, no big deal. Nice for people to DM you, but doesn't mean you're friends. But she lost her mom very soon after I started communicating with her. And she started writing the most beautiful things about her mother. And then my mom got sick and I lost my mom. So we kind of bonded over that. And then she started watching Bravo, which was the biggest gift because now I had a smart, beautiful, educated, intellectual person to talk Bravo with. And now today she's going to be my first guest on the show. So I'm so excited. So I'll let her in and then you guys DM me, comment, like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think of her. Let me know what you think of the new solo show that I'm doing. I'm sure it'll change a lot as it goes along. I'm new at this, but thank you guys for coming along. Okay, so here's Domenica. So welcome, Domenica.
Thank you for having me, Thea. It's wonderful to be here.
So Domenica is a writer. She's a playwright. She was an actress. Are you still acting, or is that something you did in the past?
I'm not currently, but I want to be. I miss it. I keep having dreams where I am, and I'll put it out there that I love to act, and I think I'm a lot better at it now. So anyone will give me the opportunity, I'm here.
Well, it's funny, you guys. So Domenica had a play off Broadway, and I went into the city to see it by myself because I just wanted to support her. I had no idea what to expect, although I did already completely love her writing. But who knows, right? It's a play. It was off Broadway. It was called Someone Spectacular. And I saw the first one I saw, Domenica, you wrote it, but you weren't in it. And then I went back to the city to see Domenica act in it. And it was just the most beautiful play. I can't even tell you. I swear to God, this play I have not been to a real play, like a black box theater, a real play in so many years because I go to Broadway and it's just this huge glitzy production with famous people and they're trying. So it was such a lovely 2 evenings for me. And what about that play? So you guys put it on, and do you think you'll put it on again anywhere?
I hope so. I mean, we're in the process of getting it published, so that'll be really cool. And like my first play, Rinse Repeat, that once it got published, it allowed it to be done in other places. So it's currently, I think they're wrapping up later this month the production in Japan. So I hope that there's more life for Someone Spectacular. I would love to do a run where like I can be in it like fully, not just understudying. So I hope there's more life for the play. I really, really love that piece. It's very special to my heart. But in the meantime, I have a book that I just heard yesterday will be out July 2026. So that is what I'm working on. And I have another play in the works. I love theater. I've always loved theater. I've seen I'm seeing four shows this week. I think I've seen two, and I have one tonight and then another one on Sunday.
Now, can you tell us what the name of your book is going to be or anything about it yet?
Yeah, so we're working the title, like we're changing it. We're testing different titles. The winner was You Are What You Watch, but then we found like another existing book with that title. So we're working. The subtitle is going to be How Our Favorite Shows Became Our Worst Influences. So I think that describes what the book does well, and it's very personal. I take these topics that and talk about things that are very personal to me. And I look at them through the lens of TV and how movies and TV shows, our beloved movies and TV shows, shaped our experiences. And there's an essay in the book about Bravo and grief. There's an essay about misogyny through the lens of Survivor, rape culture through the lens of Gossip Girl, like food and being I've struggled with disordered eating for a while and most of my adult life, and like what it was for me watching women look a certain way on TV, but supposedly eat everything. Like what each essay tackles these topics, but through our like cozy shows and looking at the kind of, I mean, I love being comforted by TV, but also the like ugly underbelly of that and how it can lead to how we see ourselves and wanting to be something that maybe isn't best for us. Like Chuck
Right.
Bass was not a prince, right? But he's held out to be one. And then how does and then that leads to a lot of women making excuses for really terrible men because what we see is sort of it shapes us. I really do think it shapes us. So that's kind of what the book is doing.
It's so interesting because you and I have the same taste in television. We love Bravo, we love Survivor, all these shows, but we are also very intelligent women. And I have such a hard time reconciling my intellectual side with my love of trash TV. So I think your book is going to be perfect for me because I love to bring all these things together, right? Like your analytical side, your writing side, and then also how you ingest all of this quote unquote trash television. And then also, you're right, we're watching it, so it's affecting us. It's affecting the way we think, the way we see things. It's affecting our self-esteem. It's affecting our just envy of other things. And then there's great things too, like it brings people together. Our love of Bravo brought us together. Well, actually,
Exactly.
it's funny that there's an essay in there called Bravo and Grief because that's
Yeah.
what literally brought us together was that we both love Bravo. So you started following my little Bravo fan page, but then you lost your mother, and then soon after I lost my mother, and that brought us really together because
Yeah.
I had been reading Domenica's beautiful, just amazing, gorgeous passages on her Instagram about losing her mom, and I just felt like she was so good at expressing what this humongous loss had done to her, but in a way that brings you in and doesn't make you sad. So I reached out to her. I hardly knew her. And I said, oh my gosh, my mom's very sick. I don't think she's going to make it. What should I do? Should I go see her? How can I handle this? And you helped me through that. So I bet you $1 million your book's going to help other people, because when you look at grief and you look at what we're watching and how somehow these shows save us and somehow these shows bring us closer to other people, all that stuff, when you're grieving and when you're trying to get through a loss, is helpful.
Totally. I think I was actually talking to somebody recently and they asked me, how did you like survive that? Because I was so close to my mom and she was so young, it was so sudden. This is actually around the time of year where today is May 9th, and May 9th, 2022 was like my mom was sick. We didn't really know what was wrong. On May 11th, they figured out that it was, no, on May 10th, I think they figured out that it was cancer. And then 21 days later, May 31st, she was dead. And my mom was only 51. It was like it doesn't make sense to me. It never will. And I really struggled with being on this earth. And I was not a Bravo girl. My only reality TV was Survivor that I'd ever done. I was like a staunchly anti-reality person. I thought that Real Housewives seemed so misogynistic. I felt like it was just Andy Cohen enjoying women looking silly by getting drunk and fighting. I had this like idea of what it was going to be, and I stayed away from it. And then the first anniversary of my mom's death was super hard. A lot, and the months after, I felt really, really terrible. And close friends kept recommending Vanderpump Rules and telling me to watch it and telling me to watch it. And Scandival had happened that summer, like earlier that, well, I guess that the reunion had aired in May, and this was
Right.
July that I started watching it. And honestly, and I write about this in the essay, like there was a moment where I fully wanted to end my life. I was like, the thought entered my head of you are never going to be with your mom again. Like you would
Right.
never be with her again. And I thought, and the train was coming. I'm like, you should jump in front of that train. Like that's what you should do. And it was not, it was an unwanted thought. It just came. And
Right.
the thought that followed was not yet. You have to make it to Scandival.
Well, I remember talking to you because we've been talking obviously about writing and then obviously about our moms. And then I remember when you reached out to me and said, so I've been watching Vanderpump Rules, and I was like, you've come to the dark side. And
oh God, what a great gateway drug that was. Oh, because we messaged you about Kristen. I mean, you were the page that was really speaking out about James Kennedy when nobody was speaking out about it. So like, thank you for doing that really important work.
Well, it was, the thing is, it was personal to me because I knew her publicist and I was on the phone with them the night that James had hit her and she was hiding at her house. So it wasn't something that I had heard on the gossip mill. It wasn't something that someone had teased, someone had slipped me. It was something that I felt like I kind of lived through. So when people would talk about it and say, well, I don't know if this really happened. I mean, crazy Kristen, she makes things up. And I was like, no, you don't understand it. For sure, 100% happened. And it's so bizarre to me how people wouldn't believe something like that. Like she had literally never spoken about it, maybe alluded to it a few times without ever using his name. So there would be no incentive to make that up. She wasn't even talking about it. It's crazy. But those are the things that reality show draws you into. And it does make you kind of, for a minute, take you out of your own grief, out of your own problems, because we're so invested in these other people's lives.
It's so healing. I mean, I feel bad because obviously, like, poor Ariana, like Scandival caused a lot of pain. But I was just so fascinated, and it took me. There were days that I was in bed and I watched 7 episodes of Vanderpump Rules, and like it was, and then I would go for a run. I would listen to podcasts about it, and I was so invested. And when it ended, I was genuinely scared. I'm like, wait, that gave me something to live for. What do I do now? And my friend was wonderful. She said, well, you know LVP now, so why don't you do Beverly Hills? And the great thing about the Real Housewives franchise is I don't know that you'll, like, there's so much. I don't know that you'll ever fully catch up.
Right.
So that has been one. Like, then I did Beverly Hills, and then I did Salt Lake City, and then I did New York, and then I did Dubai, and I started New Jersey. I'm like 5 seasons in. I moved into Summer House. I'm right in the prime of Carla and Lindsay. It's like bad season, like we should not be getting married season. And it's just been Bravo's been this companion of mine, dealing with my mom's death and my grief, because I have a close friend of mine, lost a parent and also struggled with, like, we used to watch really intense indie movies together that were so dark and complicated. And she was like, I can only really handle like action movies now. And now when I lost my mom, like, I get it. I fully get it, because The Pit is a great show, but when I watch, and I need to recover. Like, I need a week to recover from an episode. Same with Adolescence. Right. Adolescence, I was just like, this is too much. And in that week, I can dose with Bravo. Though, thank you for recommending the 4 seasons. That was a scripted show that I felt like it was so cozy, and my mom would have loved. I saw that on your page, and I was like, oh wait, that was really nice.
Right. I mean, we were trying to escape from our reality by watching reality TV. I completely get that. I watched, and I think you were the one who recommended to me, Australian Survivor.
So good.
I'm such a US Survivor fan, and I remember you telling me you've got to watch Australia. And I was having health problems last year, and I went through the entire 12 seasons of Australian Survivor, and it took me like 3 months, but it was every single night. I was in so much pain, and I just sat there, and those seasons are so long, and there's so many episodes, That really does give you like a good chunk of time to get away from your problems. I love it.
Totally. My mom and I watched Survivor in the hospital. I mean, like that was the last show she watched. We would watch it together because we kind of knew what, like deep down, I guess some part of me knew she was probably dying. And I remember her telling me one day, like, I need you to treat me normal. I don't want you to treat me like I'm dying. I need you to be normal with me. And and that allowed us to be, I remember telling her, I don't know what's normal. Last night I watched American Crime Story Impeachment, and like I think that Beanie Feldstein is really bad in it. Like, and she said that's normal. Yes, thank you. And so I'd bring my computer and we would watch it in bed together, and she would talk about who she thought was going to win. And like in the last weeks of her life, that was important for her too. I think,
Right.
I also think TV allows us to like, yes, get through the hard moments, turn off, just be, it's very, very healing. And the book looks at a lot of that. Like I look at Survivor and I talk about how it was so comforting for me in some of the worst times. And also how like there's a lot of misogyny and it's really, really difficult to watch. I mean, even this season in US Survivor, we're really seeing the like strong, I mean, it's no coincidence to me that there's like this integrity, strong alliance and it's majority men. It's like,
No,
it
100%.
bleeds into everything.
But in that way, I do feel that reality TV can be instructive because it's not.
Yes.
And so we're saying these are real people. These are how men act because they're on
Mm-hmm.
television, they're being filmed, and they are being themselves. And guess what? A lot of men are, especially strong physical men. They are sometimes inherently misogynistic. And we're watching
Mm-hmm.
it on Survivor this season. And they say you can't hide from the cameras when you're on reality TV. You know, people can blame bad edits, but at the end of the day, you are who you are. And now we're watching that. And I feel like it can be instructive. I feel like people can learn from that. I feel like these men might watch themselves and learn from it because everything is just so ingrained and you're born with it and you're bred to learn that men are
Yes.
superior to women and that women should be in this place. So I know I'm completely hyping reality TV. And my dad's probably so ashamed of me right now because he doesn't watch TV in general, but for sure he's never watched any reality TV. But I really, really believe in the healing properties of it. I believe it can be great escapism. I can believe it can be instructive. And I love that there's another girl out there who I admire and who I respect, who feels the same way I do.
Oh my God. I think also we need to normalize. I think there is this idea, and I remember somebody giving me a hard time for watching, and of course, like an older man giving me a hard time for going home to watch Real Housewives. He's like, "You should watch Succession instead." And I remember saying, "I watched it 3 times. Like, yes, I know my Succession. I'm not dumb. Like, I watched Succession. Yes, okay." But the thing is, okay, men watch sports all the time. And that's like accepted as a really respectable pastime. Like, yes, you're going to watch your sports. But what the hell is American football? Who made that up? It doesn't make any sense. As like my parents I'm first generation Ecuadorian. I spent a lot of time in England, and when I moved back here, I'm like, what the hell is this sport? What is and it people there are bars where people will just go, and like it's acceptable also if you have a child and you say that, oh yeah, my husband's not with me right now because he's watching the game with friends. Everyone would go like, yeah, that's totally acceptable. But if there was a dad with his kids and it's like, oh yeah, my wife just had to watch the new Salt Lake City episode live, everyone would be so up in arms. But you know what? At least reality TV teaches you something. You learn a lot about how to spot narcissists, toxic relationships. Like there's a lot of lessons in reality TV. So
And
I think it's
and by the way, people are not getting their heads bashed in on reality TV.
yes.
Usually they're not having suffering chronic illnesses that will have the rest of their lives because they played football.
True.
So there's a great case to be made that reality TV is safer than American football. So there you go.
I think we're onto something.
Well, Domenica, I can't wait for your book to come out. I'll be posting it, of course, on my page when it does. July 2026.
Yeah, that's what we're working with right now, and we're in the like picking covers state. It's been very fun. Very,
Oh
very,
my
very
gosh,
fun.
this is so exciting. So we're going to be both published authors, you of your esteemed reality TV book and my trivia books.
I have your trivia books and I love them.
And my memoir of Amber Portwood. Okay, well, I'm so happy I got to talk to you. I can't wait to go to Off Broadway again and see your next play as well, and maybe see someone spectacular in a theater near you guys. You never know.
I have all my fingers and toes crossed. And while I do the theater plug, I just have to say, anyone who it's tickets are expensive, it's hard, but theater is my everything. If you can see Sunset Boulevard, see it. It's amazing.
I,
And don't
I,
see Glengarry Glen Ross. Save your money. Sorry. Sorry to
I
everyone out
told
there.
you, what did I tell you when I got
You
home from
were
Glengarry?
so right.
I
I
said,
mean,
these people are phoning it in. This is not worth the money, but I am dying to see Sunset Boulevard before Nicole leaves in July, I believe.
yeah, in July, I was so skeptical when I first heard about it. I'm like, really? Sunset Boulevard, it's a terrible show.
Right.
Um, with Nicole Scherzinger? What? No, that can't be good. I've seen it 7 times. She is giving one of the best performances I've ever seen, and maybe vocally, and I've seen a lot of theater in my life. I used to go 6 times a week. Maybe one of the best vocal performances, like if not the best. I mean, I'm thinking like Kristen Chenoweth, Nicole Scherzinger. I don't know. She's a better belter than Leah Michelle. She is incredible, truly, and what a brilliant actress. Mike White, put her on the next season of White Lotus. Just saying, you'll get it when you see it when you see her. But
So
really,
you would say Ariana Madix or Nicole, who is a better vocalist?
I think there's no contest. But I mean, Ariana or
I know you
Erica
love art.
Jane would. I wonder how that would go.
Okay, I can't wait to see it. Well, thank you so much for coming and being my first guest on my show.
Thank
I
you
love
for
you, and I will
having me.
talk to you soon.
I love you too. Thank you for
Okay.
having me.